Kaboom everyone, welcome back to your beloved Atomic Chess Speedrun, the series about probably the most aggressive chess variant on chess.com. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. First game we get a quite experienced guy from Australia. d4. Knight f6. His knight is threatening a lot of explosions. I'll pin it down. Knight c6. Very aggressive. Knight f3. If he can move his knight, I can also move my horses. And he can also move his pawns. Which blunders a king, knight d5. Forking two possible king explosions. If he takes my knight, his knight also explodes and my bishop can explode the e-pawn, and if he takes my pawn, my queen is completely open. Kaboom! What a good start to today's speedrun. Second game, let's go. Second game we get an 1800 rated guy from the US, who has played over 10,000 games of atomic chess. Holy baby, 10,000 games. If this guy on average plays one game of atomic every day, then he started playing way before I was even born. I am scared. d4. f6. I have never seen anyone play f6 against my d4, we've already reached an untrailblazed territory right on move 1. Let's just take the full center. Threatening queen h5, queen d5, forking d7 and f7. He plays d5 himself. Knight c3. Threatening knight b5, exploding a lot of things. c6. Aha! That doesn't solve the problem. Knight b5. At least I should be able to win a queen here. C takes b5. Bishop b5 check. E takes d5. Discovered checkmate in 1. Queen d7. Now bishop takes d7 is exploding the king, but as a grandmaster once said, when you have mate in 1, look for better. Therefore, mate in 2. I cannot believe I actually beat a 10,000 games player in less than 10 moves. But anyway, third game, let's go. For your information, I usually take a short break after each and every game to avoid facing the same opponent again, but then this game we are getting the same opponent as the first game. It's time to change the opening. Knight f3. e5. He is literally challenging me to go knight g5. Challenge is taken. I believe there should be a way to win a queen here, as long as I don't mess up. Never mind. d4. Knight h6. And in this position, something unexpected happened. I made a serious blunder. So I thought that he would want to f6 to block my bishop, but it turned out that his threat is more lethal than mine. Bishop e7 is trapping his bishop, but before I can take it he has already exploded my king. f3. Knight f2. You know what? I have an idea. Queen d3. Instead of queen c1 trying to save the queen, knight takes d3, sacrificing the queen for a free tempo will give me just enough time to go bishop e7, winning his king. And he removed his bishop from the explosion. My queen is dead then. Kaboom. Okay, it's not that bad. e4. From being up a queen, now we're down a pawn, but my position is still a lot more active. Let's not give up hope yet. Castle. Bishop e7. Rook e8. One move threat. I don't know how to explain this to you, but it is actually quite difficult to realize that you can push the pawn to avoid the bishop from behind. And he resigned the game. Ha! You see? I don't know if you can understand that feeling or not, but I have been in this situation once, and it took me quite a while to realize that I can push the pawn. This kind of attack is so unnatural in normal chess that people genuinely just haven't used to it yet. But anyway, a win is a win. Final game of the day. Hopefully we'll get a long enough game for an 8-minute video. Knight f3. First game of the day that I get the black pieces. f6 is kinda forced. d4. Okay, it gets tricky real quick. I am basically prevented from pushing my e-pawn, because e5 gets knight g5 fg5 bishop g5 I have to lose my queen. And e6 is getting d5 knight e5 I also cannot take his knight due to bishop g5 winning my queen. I can only push my d-pawn. c4. He wants to eliminate my d-pawn so he can push his d-pawn. There is nothing I can do. Counter-attack. We'll focus on developing. That is the only way to cut off his chain of continuous attacks. C takes d5. Knight a6. d5. I'll block that pawn with my queen. Bishop f4. Aha. So in this position, I tried to calculate something with knight b4 bishop d6 knight c2 king d2. But then I don't know what to do after that. Therefore, let us keep it simple. This guy is playing very fast and very confidently. I have used more than a minute on my clock, and yet his clock hasn't even flinched. A very fast knight c3. Which blunders a king, queen f4. Physically undefendable. And as the game is completely unsavable, he starts spending time to think. Resignation. Atomic chess speed run today. 500% win rate.